this is gonna be a short stream. I'm only gonna do one attempt of each game. I had to keep all the music in. So there's a hidden options menu in this game if you hold the A button and press start at the main menu. I don't know why some Genesis games didn't have a proper options screen. Or just like an opening menu, but anyway, I guess this is 1990. So they hadn't decided yet exactly how to do it. So the game level, there's 4 levels. Default is normal. Harder levels are interesting. Maybe we'll come back and play this later. Button controls are pretty standard. I like having C to shoot up. The default is B shoots up, A shoots down, and C switches weapons. I like the way that this story starts in media res, so to speak. I've already got the hero facing off against the villain. I have a little surprise for you. Yeah. The gyro was Roki all along. '90s anime loves brother versus brother. No coming back from being the GYRA. So just like the Thunder Force games, or the good Thunder Force games, this one starts with the stage select. And this is actually kind of like Mega Man, where in each stage we'll unlock a different weapon. So we'll start with the wind stage. I think this one's the easiest, has the easiest boss, even though the wind weapon isn't that useful. So the leaves are pushing me, or the leaves indicate there's wind pushing me back. The leaves themselves aren't what's pushing me back. One thing that makes this stage a bit easier than the others is that you pick up the shield power-up before you pick up the shadow clone, which is the mirror item. And the shadow clone is something that you lose immediately if you take 1 damage, but the shield protects you for 3 hits. So you won't lose the shadow clone as long as you have a shield. And that pretty much doubles your firepower. It's the main power-up in the game. helps a lot with boss fights if you can hang on to it. Unlike the Thunder Force games, you can't lose your weapons here by dying. Once you get them, you keep them for good, and I think that's actually one of the things I like about this better than Thunder Force. I also like that you just have a forward and backward shot instead of a weapon type being dedicated to firing backwards. I always just find that a little bit too awkward in Thunder Force, having to switch to the rear gun all the time. So, makes good use of the 3 buttons on the controller. For this boss, this is a good example of where the shadow clone helps. And you kind of see, I can stay ahead of his laser while the shadow clone is still making contact with the weak point. And that's how a lot of these bosses work, really. And that's a lot of Technosoft bosses in general. Just like they have a small weak point. It really goes back to big core, but it's a small weak point that's defended by the main shot. And I actually really like this type of boss in shoot 'em ups. Superstar Soldier is another game that does this style well. So the fairy Neena is going to power us up now. And we'll do the water stage second. This one probably has the hardest boss. So you can see the wind weapon is just this wide shot basically, and it's pretty weak. So there'll be other wide shots that'll end up being better. You can also see the shadow clone stays with the default light elemental weapon, regardless of what element you have equipped. Ah, I lost it. See, that's exactly it. I took one hit before I picked up the shield there. And that means I'm gonna have to play the rest of the level without the shadow clone. I think there might be one more late in the stage. Don't remember if it's this stage or Earth that has that. I think that the fire and wind stages are pretty similar to each other, and then the earth and water stages follow a different archetype. Or like the first two are sort of in canyons with a narrow playing area, and then the water and earth stages are in like wider battlefields. So that's why I don't start with either of those two, because it really does help to have one of the wide weapons. Just to take care of all this enemy traffic. This is not a especially hard game. It's significantly easier than Thunder Force 4, and I think it's easier than Thunder Force 3 as well. The main reason being basically what I've mentioned already, that you don't lose your weapons, and you've got the shield that can help you protect the only one power-up that you need. And then additionally, you have a health bar. So that's always a pretty big help. This boss shoots from his tail and head, and it's a little bit tough to deal with, mostly just because he shoots from off screen a lot of times. Oops. This is the other reason that it's good not to pick this as the first stage, is I didn't mention, but there's this fairy power up you get after you complete one stage. She's just like a homing attack that will help take out any random projectiles coming at you. So now that we've got the water weapon, let's take on the earth stage. The water weapon is very good. I'd say that the water, earth, and fire are all good enough that you could play the whole game with them if you wanted to. I think the shot types here, again, just to keep comparing to Thunder Force, I think they're more balanced here. I mean, you could easily play the whole game with the light elemental shot. Maybe not easily. You'd be making it harder for yourself, but still, I think it's plenty balanced for that. So this stage is the one that has the second mirror item. So even though I lost it already, I'll get a second chance to pick it up. The only downside to using the water weapon, the reason I don't use it all the time, is the sound effects are horrible. It's kind of funny. This game has amazing music, but sound effects are pretty bad. Yeah, so we got another mirror. Your shield takes 3 hits. After the first hit, it doesn't change color. After the second hit, it turns orange, meaning it only has 1 HP left. Similar to Thunder Force. Alright, boss time. This guy, you just gotta watch out and not let him trap you in a corner, because he does move relatively fast compared to your speed. And once again, you have to hit the head to damage it. On to the fire stage. The earth shot is very powerful and it's penetrating, so it can be really good against big enemies in particular. And you've also got these charge shots for each element except for light. There's a shield. Those rocks that fly out of volcanoes are fixed, but they still get me every time. I haven't memorized it properly. Oops. So you get a full health refill after the stages, and you don't keep your shield and shadow clone items between stages. So if you take a lot of damage against the bosses, it doesn't really matter. But you still need to know how to fight them, because later on we're going to have to do a boss rush, and it's not going to be possible to just take as much damage as you want anymore. Ice physics on the ice. Fire shot is probably the most utilitarian, so I think like if you really stubbornly wanted to only use one shot type, this one would be the safest. It's a little bit weak compared to Earth and Light. Can't kill these spike chain balls, and you cannot move through the chain either. It's all damaging, so you need to rotate around them, or circle around them. But yeah, Earth is helpful to take out these wizards in particular. The ice physics really don't come into play much in this stage. They honestly feel more just like a little bit of flavor, because the game doesn't ever make you stay on ice for any long period of time. Close. Alright. So for this boss, he's kind of a pain, but it's a fixed pattern. It's just that he takes a long time to kill. So the best way I've found to do it is use the fire charge shot, and it takes 5 hits. Just gotta wait for the opportunities to use it. And I stick with using it when he shoots blue flames, just every other attack. His attack cooldown is almost exactly the length of time it takes to charge the shot. So it's hard to be in position to hit him every single time. Better just to wait. Neena, you are the one that I have been seeking. Oh, so it is you. You're a ring. Bye. So Neena gave us the ability to charge the light shot. So we now have that beam shot, and that's going to be important. So you got a fair amount of environmental dodging going on here. need that health recovery item. Oh, dang. Fell a little bit behind there. I didn't actually want to be using the light shot, but I didn't have time to switch weapons. And that can definitely be one of the challenges in this game. Again, just very similar to the Thunder Force games, where being able to switch weapons in the short second that you have to do so is something that can help you out a lot. I have no idea how to get through those spears correctly. I always end up just taking a hit there. Alright, it would have been nice if we had got through with a... Hey, Fractal Cactus, how's it going? Thanks for coming by. So yeah, it would have been nice to have the Shadow Clone, but really for this boss fight, the Light Elemental shot is going to do most of the work. Pretty awesome transformation. Alright, I think we just need one more hit. Those waves don't hurt you, they just push you around. Good, glad you're doing good. I think this might be the clear run of Elemental Master. It's gonna come down to... Well, it should come down to the final boss. Alright, so now we've got the boss rush. Go through all the elements again, but we're just going to use the light elemental shot as much as possible. That's not the right way to dodge that attack. So, if you really desperately need life extend, you can walk over the lava there to get that one, but it's not really any way that you wouldn't have maxed out health at this point unless you've continued, because when you continue it does reset your health to just 4 bars. I always corner myself like that on this guy. They're pretty generous with the health items in this stage though, so you do get some health back between bosses. You just can't take a ton of damage. You gotta be careful not to get cornered by this guy. Like the others, he just takes 2 full like charge beams. Nice enough to give us a shadow clone, but we're not going to get a shield to protect it, so it's probably not going to last long. Alright, let's see if we can get him here. Alright, perfect. the fire and water elemental shots tend to be pretty good for the intermission or inter-boss periods of this stage. Actually, yeah, for this guy, we're not going to use the light shot because he's just a little bit hard to line up with. So I prefer using the same fire strategy we used before. It's 2 hits. It's 3, but that wasn't a full hit, so we might end up needing 6. 4. 5, yep. 1 more. 6. So I think based on that, you can see the bosses don't have any extra HP in this version compared to when you played them before. And boss rush, you're even out the boss of the stage we just beat. It's kind of a boss rushes. I don't normally. I wouldn't qualify them as filler. I think maybe some people might. Just way making the game longer, but I usually think they're pretty fun and challenging to redo a bunch of bosses in a row. But it is a bit exaggerated to also have you redo the special or the extra stage bosses. Like in terms of this being analogous to a Mega Man game, these are the Wily stages, and this would be like having you fight the Wily stage bosses again after the Robot Master refights and before Wily. But anyway, they're not that hard, so it's not really a complaint. It's more just like a... it's like, really? We're doing that? So yeah, you get pretty much a full refill here. We have just a tiny bit of shield left. Time to fight the GYRA. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, then big laser, then we'll hit him. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, big laser. 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Uh-oh, yeah, we didn't have enough room there. Alright. For this phase, start out with a big laser, then switch weapons. You can shoot 5 volleys of boomerangs. That's 2. That is 3. 4. And 5. Now we switch back to the light shot, charge that up. Aiming down when he passes below us. Hit him with that. And now we got the final phase. Oh, dang. Let's just take it there. Alright. He's not that difficult, a final boss. Actually, I'd say he's verging on easy. It's just that in that first phase, you have to be really careful about your positioning so that the darkness beam doesn't trap you against a wall. The reconciliation of brothers. What a sad ending. At least Neena turned back from a ring into a fairy, so he's still got a friend. So that took 3 days. I don't know, probably like 4 hours or so gameplay to get the normal clear. It's really fun. I like that one a lot. I think a lot of people could probably blind clear that just because of the HP. It's more like it's one of those things where getting used to the weapons or learning the weapons is something that I like to take my time doing, just messing with the stage order and stuff like that. If you wanted to get direct to the point, as long as you knew the thing about needing the light beam for the final boss, you could pretty much just play the stages in the same order every time. Just use the fire weapon or the water weapon if you want to. And it'd be a really consistent run.